So for this project I'm going to be making a pom-pom, and I'm going to be using the pom-pom maker to make that. So rather than having a piece of round card and making the pom-pom and then cutting the card away and then reusing card again, I'm going to be using a pom-pom maker. I have 2 balls of wool. I'm not going to be using them all. We won't have to use a lot of wool because my pom-poms aren't going to be that big. So I have a mulberry and I have a lilac. I have 1 button that I just found lying around, which I'm just going to add some dimension. I have a small gift box, a wrapped gift box, and I just need my scissors. So I'm going to start off by first of all making my pom-pom, and I'm going to make about 3 pom-poms to add to the gift box. So I'm going to make my pom-pom first before I do anything else, and the pom-pom actually opens quite easily. It's quite a simple product to use. It just glides, okay? It glides like so. So we need to ensure that we have wool around both these sides. So I'm going to open up and do the first side. So take some wool. I'm just going to add the wool to the central part. So you're opening up, so the curve's on the outside. I'm just going to add the wool just here, like so, on the inside. And then all you simply do is just start to wind your wool around the pom-pom maker. Just take that across. You want to keep it nice and firm. So we worked with one of our corporate clients, and they needed 1,000 pom-poms for their gift wrapping at Christmas, and we were in central London. So I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to make so many pom-poms? And this is when we started to use the pom-pom makers to make them. Otherwise it would have taken us a long time to make the pom-poms using card and just cutting circular discs out. So all I'm doing now is just winding my wool all the way around. Try and keep it nice and even. Keep it underneath. And then I'm just going to, when it's thick enough, I'm just going to finish off, bring my wool around the tip here and take it onto the inside, and then just close, okay? And then I'm just going to open the other side, and then I'm just going to start to wind the wool around that second side. So all I'm doing is winding the wool around. Let's try and keep it even. And then I'm going to this time take the wool over the top and just take it so it's on the outside just here, like so. I'm just going to cut this excess wool out. Okay, so now you've ended up with the 2 sides covered in wool. Now you're just going to have to take your scissors, and all you want to do is just simply use the tips of your scissors, just make a snip, but make sure you're holding this quite tightly together. Snip all the way to the other end. Make sure these don't open up. So as you can see there, I'm just snipping like so. Okay, so you want to cut all the way around, then turn it over and do exactly the same on the other side, but make sure that you're not opening the maker up at all. So now what you have here is you have the wool on both sides. Now that wool isn't secure yet, so we need to ensure that's secure before we do anything else. So I'm going to take another piece of the wool, and I'm just going to take my pom-pom and I'm just going to take the wool to the center piece here. So it's going all the way around. Then I'm going to make a nice tight knot. Okay, so nice and tight, as tight as you can. And then again, make a second knot. As always in gift wrapping, it's always important to make 2 knots to keep everything together. Okay. So you can, if you want, to just cut some of the excess wool away if it's, you know, if it doesn't look like it's level, but you don't really have to do anything with it. So now all you're going to do now is you're just going to open the 2 loops again from both ends. Okay. And then your pom-pom will just itself come apart. So the pom-pom maker just has a little piece there, and you just put that back together again. And then what I'm going to do is just give it a bit of a fluff up, just take away the excess. And there you have your pom-pom. So I've made a couple more pom-poms. So I've made a lilac one and another blue, more blue coloured one. And I'm going to add these to my gift. So it's just a very simple box that I've wrapped. And I'm going to just take my wool. I'm just going to hold the box like so and have the wool on top. And I'm just going to wind this wool around, very ad hoc, nothing to style, just taking it across. So you can see what's happening here. I'm having a narrow bit on the centre and keeping it a little bit wider on the edges. Okay. And then just bring the last piece to the top, make a snip. And all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tie these 2 pieces together. Then I'm going to take them underneath, take both pieces underneath, and then just make another knot. Okay. Now it's nice just to sort of level these out a little bit. So again, you don't even need ribbon for your gift wrap. I'm then going to take my pom-poms and I'm just going to tie them all together. They don't have to be tied very tightly because we want to be able to, you know, we want people to be able to open them when they open their gift. Just tie this one to the other 2, like so. Okay. And then taking your pom-poms, just take the, I'm just going to move this string out of the way for a second. I'm just going to take the string underneath. So it comes out from just under here, and I'm going to do the same with the other string. So I've taken them both underneath, and then I'm just going to tie together. So what I want to do, I just want to take one of the pieces of string, or should I say wool, and I'm just going to let's find something that's not so frayed, and just poke it through the top of the button, and then just take it back underneath. So all I'm doing here is I've just brought the wool through the button, and I'm just going to take the wool back underneath itself to come back to the other end. It's a little bit tricky because the wool starts to fray on the edge. I want to try and see if I can catch it all. Let's try that again. So it doesn't really matter which piece you use. So I'll bring it up. If you had a wide needle, then that would suffice as well. Then what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to take it down on itself and just add the button to the top here. Okay. And I'm just going to take another one of the little pieces of wool, and then I'm just going to knot. And when I knot it, it will actually keep the button on top and it will make it a bit more stable. So I'll bring this back around in a second. And you can cut all these pieces of wool away. What I like to do, which is quite a nice effect, is just leave it how it is, but then just cut them at an angle. So it gives a little bit of a, like you would have a ribbon tail, but just at a small angle. And that's how you would make a pom-pom gift wrap, made in a very simple but elegant way.